Our next guest is a small-town girl from Pennsylvania who was not afraid to follow her dreams and to ask for what she thought she deserved. And the life that followed was even richer than her dreams. She shares her story and her life's lessons in this book, Stumbling to the Stars. Welcome, Jeanne Koelsch. Good to have you with us, Jeanne.
Thank you.
Welcome to the show.
Yes.
Tell us just a little bit about your life as growing up in Pennsylvania and what your dreams were.
Yes, all right. Well, I'm from a small mining town, modest means, and I just had this desire to see more and learn more about life and people. So I wanted to get to New York City, and there was adventure and excitement and all fast-moving pace, which I felt I would like. And one way of doing it was I registered with the modeling school. And at that time, believe it or not, 3 weeks initial course was $5, so I could afford that.
Wow.
And I went to New York with just $60 in my pocket.
Unbelievable.
And of course, the stumbling part of the title of my book means that I struggled a bit to get to this lucrative career that I found. I modeled a bit, and while I was modeling at a convention, I noticed this caricaturist in action. Loved his work. I got to know him, and then I became his assistant. I also helped him write a Broadway column, which was syndicated across the country.
But then you discovered that you had a talent also for doing caricatures.
And I watched him draw, and I learned, and then all of a sudden I started working with him drawing. And I must say he was a little bit difficult, quite possessive, and I just said, I have to go on my own. And people would say, oh, you'll never make it, don't take that risk. And at that time it wasn't very easy for women in this, careers.
Sure.
But I did. I just said, I'm just going to try and do this, and what could happen? They can only say no.
And look at these. These are some of your works right there. Marilyn Monroe.
Yes, you recognize that?
Yeah, and then what's the one next to her? Oh, that's
Bing Crosby in the middle, and then Charles Lawton on the right.
Oh my
I did him
goodness.
backstage.
Oh, so this just started coming naturally to you?
Yes, I guess I've had a hidden talent. My mother was an artist, and I designed clothes and things. So, but anyway, I started drawing with him, and then I went on my own completely, made up a brochure, contacted companies, large companies, by researching them in the library. In 2 weeks, my first booking was with Firestone Tire and Rubber. I asked, after getting $35 a week working with him, I asked for $150 an hour, plus airfare, plus first-class hotel accommodations. I was so young, I thought, oh, let me just ask for it. And I got it.
Oh my goodness.
But then I said, well, I have to perform if I'm going to ask for this much money. And I thought, boy, she must be good if she's asking for
Yes.
And I did. I worked diligently. I drew people in 1.5 minutes each one. So I was drawing hundreds of people. They were standing in line.
Duke Ellington.
Yeah.
Is that you drawing Duke Ellington right there?
Yes.
Oh, that is so cute. Look at you in the background.
Thank you. It was so fascinating meeting all these people and how I met them. People wonder, how did you meet all these? Well, at that time, I was a member of the press club in New York. Wow. And I went, I invited backstage after the different big shows they had, and I met them that way. Also, as a member of the press club, we were invited down to Hollywood. And we were able to walk on the set, through the sets in all the different film studios. And that's where I met Humphrey Bogart and Marilyn Monroe.
Is that Walter Matthau there?
Walter Matthau.
Yeah, earlier we saw.
So you're just drawing them right there live, and then do you give it to them, or do you sell it to them?
Oh, no, I never sold it to them. They would sign it, and whoever invited me to do that, usually the foundations or companies, they would
pay you to come there, and then you would, oh my goodness. So who was the favorite person you drew?
Oh, there's so many favorites. One was Ray Bolger. And Tony Bennett.
Yeah, Tony Bennett,
yeah. And then he was in San Francisco recently, and I was invited backstage to meet with him again.
What's the key to doing a caricature? It's not just a funny picture of somebody.
That's a marvelous question. I feel there are two schools of thought in caricaturing. One is exaggerating on features, and the other is exaggerating on expression. Now, I chose to exaggerate on expression. I think it's more interesting. It denotes their personality or depicts their personality. Also, I was drawing these companies, their guests and their clients and all, and I didn't want to insult them and make it grotesque. Yeah. So I would be a little kinder. doing it that way. I went, and they booked me again and again. I worked for Time magazine at least 12 times a year. Pepsi-Cola, Union Carbide, Canada Dry. Let's see, Colgate, all these big companies, New York Life Insurance. It was just a wonderful career.
We should all be so fortunate to stumble to the stars the way you did, but I love asking for more than you thought you'd ever get, and you got it.
Exactly.
That's when so when you want something, you go for it and you ask for it, right?
Exactly, and take a risk.
Yeah.
And then be diligent and work your darndest.
Jeanne, thank you so much. What a great story.
I enjoyed it.
Great story. Jeanne Koelsch.